even as the war in the Middle East is ongoing, United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken is currently on a visit to Saudi Arabia, where he has met the Crown Prince Mohammed Bin Salman. This is notably Blinken's fifth visit to the Middle East ever since the Israel-Hamas war had broken out on the 7th of October. Now, apart from this, constant strikes and counter-strikes are taking place between the US as well as UK on one side and the Iranian-backed Houthis on the others. And of course, this visit comes at a very crucial time that can in fact decide the future trajectory of US-Middle East relations. Now, the US is of course attempting to negotiate a normalization deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel, and Secretary Blinken of the US is of course discussing post-war governance in the Gaza region as well. With us on the broadcast, first up is my colleague Arzu Said. Arzu, over to you. What details can you give regarding US Secretary of State's visit to the Middle East?
With U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler Crown Prince Mohammed Bin Salman on Monday at the start of a Middle East tour, and a U.S. official said that Washington sought a forge Saudi normalization deal with Israel in the Gaza Strip. Palestine huddling under the bombardment said they hoped Blinken's visit to region would finally deliver a truce in a time to head off threatened new Israeli assault on the last refugee at the enclave's edge. Blinken's meeting with the Saudi leader lasted about 2 hours, and Blinken did not respond to shouted questions from the media on how it went as he returned to his hotel, but waved as he walked by. Blinken is also set to visit Egypt, Qatar, Israel, and the Israelis occupied West Bank this week and push to advance the Egyptian and Qataris mediated conversation with the Palestinian Hamas militants on a deal to free Israeli hostages held in Gaza. Yes, Priya.
All right, Arzu. With that, I would like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, presenting all those details. But also with us this morning is Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, defense expert. Sir, good morning and thank you for joining us on NewsX. As I mentioned earlier, this is the fifth visit by US Secretary of State to the Middle East. Of course, a lot of rumbles are taking place in West Asia at the moment. Apart from the Israel-Hamas war, of course, the strikes and counter-strikes near the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden are taking place as well. Crucial discussions for normalization of Saudi Arabia's ties with Israel are underway. What do you think this effort might yield, and what are the implications of this visit by Secretary Blinken?
Thank you, Priya. This, of course, is a very, very serious matter. And as you had said, Antony Blinken has been visiting this place for a number of times. Let me tell you one thing. This has not started now here. This is an old affair which is going on. It takes various forms. Americans involved in this area is a very old story. It is before the Iraq war also is there. And the Houthis have been at it for a long time. Houthis have been attacking them in Iraq and Syria earlier also. But question here is that now America has to decide that how much it can go further. America has now made it clear that they don't want to escalate total war. They don't want to even attack Iranian places. But the Iranian supported Houthis and these other elements which are carrying out attack on military assets of America and claiming American lives, American soldiers' lives, that is not acceptable to America. America says we want to simmer that down. We don't want to escalate war, but we don't want our people to be attacked also. America wants to draw a line that this and no more. That is what America is saying. But let me tell you one thing. Iran is very happy that Iran is not being involved. Iran is supporting total arms supply is going to Houthis and Hamas, and wherever these assets can be attacked, whether it is in Syria, whether it is in Yemen, whether it is in Iraq, wherever they will go to any in Red Sea, all shippings, including neutral country shippings, they are also being attacked. So this matter is serious. The matter requires a deep understanding and involvement of other countries also. I'm afraid United Nations is not a very effective organization which can carry out any aspect out here. So America will continue carrying out the protection of its military assets. It will continue, and it may increase its attack on these places. But it will always make sure that until and unless Iran directly attacks them, if Iran attacks them directly, their assets, then America will have no choice but to attack Iran mainland. But till then, the supported elements by Iran are left to be dead alone with America. America is doing it, and America wants the Saudi Arabia and Israel to patch up, bring in the relationship. The Egypt, Qatar, and America and Saudi Arabia, this fact which is coming up, it shows a lot of promise, but there is a limit to that also. They cannot do more than that, because till Iran plays its game, and Iran is supported by China, let me assure you, and Russia is morally supporting them. So this network is totally different from what American network is coming in that area. It is again a game of who controls the main assets. Main assets is oil and the trade routes, that lane, shipping lane, all those things make a lot of difference in Arabian, Red Sea, in Suez Canal, and Mediterranean, and further on. This aspect is very essential, and American Navy is probably going to increase in its number. Aircraft carriers with longer range aircraft and missiles will be deployed there. So the things are getting hotted up, but America itself wants to play safe. That is its policy for the present.
Yeah. All right, sir. So I request you to stay on with us. And I'd like to, in fact, raise a point that you've just stated with Colonel J.S. Sodhi, who's still with us on the broadcast. Wing Commander Bakshi has spoken about how, Russia and Iran are, of course, benefiting from this. He's spoken about the trade route in particular with regards to the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Meanwhile, of course, China has tried to play its hand in the Middle East. It did, in fact, make some remarks when the war had broken out. And it seems, do you think China is gaining through this war, and as well as the instability along the shipping routes in any means?
Yeah, I totally agree with every word what Wing Commander Bakshi has said. In 2011, Barack Obama, the then American president, announced in December 2011 a policy called Pivot to Asia, in which he moved the bulk of the American troops stationed in the Middle East to the Indo-Pacific. Well, China saw it as a great thing which would tilt the geopolitics of that region in its favor. Another blunder the Americans did was when they withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021, and China knew its time as a global geopolitical leader has arrived. And what we are seeing in the last 2 years is that China has gained in every front compared to America, be it in the military front, be it in the diplomatic front, or be it in the geopolitical front. As a result, China is getting stronger and stronger. In fact, last month on 17 January, the United Kingdom Defense Secretary Grant Shapps in a statement said that in the next 5 years, there will be new multiple war theaters opening up worldwide. And behind each new war theater, there will be only 4 countries. They are Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. Hence, the axis of these 4 countries is now becoming more and more strong, more and more potent. And as time will go by, we will see that these 4 countries will create mayhem in the world, and leading this pack is China.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.